And welcome back. Northstar here with another episode of my Hearthstone 4 Gotterdammerung Let's Play. Now, a few curious things I noticed. First of all, Mesophiend Empower. So this is a bug. I reported on the Paradox forums. We'll see if they fix it. I've seen it before. Sometimes AI nations will randomly get the Ethiopian balance power mechanism, which they shouldn't. It's not Ethiopia. I even off-camera tagged over. No way to confirm this is what I thought it was. It is. They have the Ethiopian balance of power for some reason that I can't see it. It would affect, though, among other things, build slots, war support there, political power gain, I think. That's a pain. Shouldn't happen. Bug. Not much I can do about that. Also, the devs rolled out a hot fix that reordered this side of the economy tree. Annoyingly, there's no way to roll back to before the hot fix. And because it changed where the consumer goods factory factors are applied, I'm actually at minus 30%, whereas if I'd run this minus 20, this minus 15, this minus 15, I would be seeing it minus 25. I'd be seeing it 25% extra instead of 30%. When it all goes away in the end, I'll be stuck with 5% consumer goods factor that I shouldn't have normally be possible to eliminate. I'll be stuck with it the rest of the game. That's irritating. When I'm running war economy, that's next to 1% of my factories I just won't have. So factory or two. I suppose, though, I'm doing things like with puppets the devs didn't expect, so kind of works out, but it's irritating. That really shouldn't happen. I'll consider it a roleplay sense investment in my puppets and in urbanization of those regions. I'm annoyed. I recruited this ugly guy. Promoted, I would count on my command power, and I was gonna hit the limit before the Civil War. Even with this, I'll get 30 more from focuses and just barely be under 180 when the Second German Civil War erupts. So I had to promote someone. I was really hoping, although I didn't get it, that I could get someone who was either like this, harsh leader, brilliant strategist, or rolled both of these traits, because that's possible if they would have rolled one of them already, and this gives them the other. I've seen it. It's rare. Very rare, but no, he didn't get that. He would have at least liked, maybe a career officer, but no, my luck stinks. Of course, the devs felt this was too powerful, and so this now gives you civilian economy. I think that's annoying. I really think they shouldn't have done that because, among other reasons, this is more civilian economy focused, and they could have made it even more so, like had this just be always civilian industry, which means it takes a lot longer to actually get any of the military equipment in the field that'll give you, even though you get ultimately better spirits. And it denies you access to autarky and total war, which is unique mobilization law that only comes with minus 2% recruitable population, and you get access to women in the workforce when you might not normally. So it's like an extra 1% recruitable population factor, lower resources to market. Autarky is already arguably better for an actual optimum play, so I'm irritated, but you got too many whiny wereaboos and meaty players who just didn't like that there was any serious contender for their momentum play styles, and so of course the devs nerf stuff. I do not like that. People like that always get their way just because they're whiny and they're numerous, and so no one else can have nice things. Honestly, this was still the weaker path even before they nerfed it, and it's especially now. Autarky is definitely the way to go, and unless you're maybe going democratic, especially with the reliance on trade, and very often your trade partners will become hostile to you. If you're, conquering stuff as Germany, which you normally are, or even starting civil wars, this shouldn't have happened. And they definitely shouldn't have made it so they would mess up. Like, there should have been a way to roll back. But, oh well. Meanwhile, in the forums, I reported some issues with a few bugs, such as Japan. I noticed they didn't have re-education campaign focus, and they're at 48%, and now they're suffering strikes. They should have had this by now, and I even had over and checked. It was completed, yet they didn't have the spirit. It's quite a bud in that it's looking at their base stability instead of stability, and since they almost never are below 50% base stability, they basically run this because it'll allow it if their stability is less than 50%. But then it'll say the base stability is over 50, and it'll instantly cancel spirit. Should have been fixed, will never be fixed, because there's stuff with communist nation past never gets fixed, only fascist and sometimes not aligned, because there's too many nationalists to play this game. Well, anyhow, let's get going, shall we? I assume Germany will be one of the more popular communist paths, at least. I did decide, instead of flipping Holstein for the Civil War, I'm actually going to flip Holstein Muslim. It's going to be Holstein and Württemberg. That's actually going to be less communist support, and I'll maybe keep fewer of my divisions, but it will allow me to cut off Munich entirely from supply right from the start, so I can almost guarantee that'll fall. And it'll give me even more forces near Hesse, so I can be very sure that will be taken. I'm hoping to gobble up Westfalen very quickly, and it'll just put me in a much better place if my offensive peters out fairly quickly. I did some rearranging of the build queue. I don't have that long till the start of the Second Civil War, so let's go. Sorry, I'm talking quite fast. I know you folks hate sitting around and hearing me talk, so maybe do a tiny bit of micro with this queue here. With adjusting the exact amount of oil, I stepped this down for a couple reasons. One of which is I'd rather get more oil from the Soviets. They are, that may have been too much. They're likely to be in trouble, as they'll eventually, I assume, end up at war with the United States. As might I, honestly. Trying to get that to finish on November 16th. I'll eventually attack Japan as well, probably. There we go. Which is going to be problematic. No, I don't want an advisor. No, I'm not producing cast yet. I think I mentioned before what. So rearrange this queue. I'm not going to get all the factories and military factories in building. And I'm running short support equipment. So support equipment, then some more rifles. This is garbage. I'll rework it. I don't want to give the other side in Civil War the better design as soon as the Civil War starts. This isn't bad. It could still do with a defensive turret to make it a little harder to shoot down in dogfights, and additional machine guns. So I'll be getting both of those also when the Civil War triggers. Yeah, I like defense turrets because they add air defense and a tiny bit of air attack, although usually with the loss to speed and agility from the extra weight, it's actually not really worth it for the air attack. It's the air defense that makes defense turrets worthwhile. And fighters, it makes them harder to shoot down. Bombers, it makes them harder to shoot down and harder to disrupt. So it's especially worth it on bombers. Yeah. I shifted away from quite so many civilian factories into more military ones because I don't have that long before the Civil War starts. I'm not going to be able to finish my queue otherwise. Yeah. And it's past time I start militarizing more, although as I run into resource constraints, I'll have an incentive to back off and building more mill and start building things like refineries and going back to more civ. But I definitely want to at least grow up to what my current resource constraints are when on export focus. More use of steel and aluminum, mainly. Rubber I may have to import some of to use all the aluminum, but aircraft are just so darn important. Part of the reason the first Civil War went so slow is I didn't have that many aircraft in the sky, besides my dragging things out somewhat. Tanks and aircraft would have made it feasible to do things much faster if I was trying to go faster. I could have even with infantry without taking, probably actually while taking fewer losses, but I just mean to that, right? 21st. Yeah. Oopsie daisy is all I can say. Not particularly interested in getting the mill as soon as possible because a lot of the production lines I'm just going to lose. I suddenly have a lot fewer factories and the Civil War breaks out. Alright, yeah. Step this down. Eat into my oil reserves. Not particularly interested in stockpiling oil if it's just going to go the other side. Current gain is ahead of its consumption, actually. Huh. It's because I think I actually finished air training. 109Ds are the trainer model. Guess they just finished replacing. I set these wings to all. Alright. It's raining here. It's clear. There. Alright. Can't actually merge those until that's 100 aircraft. When they're all finished deploying, merge them all together. We actually might reinforce these before they're done deploying. Intention is to train exactly one more air wing. Yep. The German military junta faces an uncertain future. With the Civil War finally at an end, the German nation is slowly rebuilding, but its people are longing for stability and security. August von Mackensen has made no effort to move forward and seems uninterested in deciding what the future of the new German state should look like. This has caused great concern in the population who are eager to move away from the broken past. A disturbance in the folks, is it? That's a disturbance in the force reference. Or doesn't give me any like decisions to have them step down early. I didn't think it would. All right. Let's see. The Rhineland and Franken, I'll control. These are the ones I really want to make sure I get done. So, because I'm pretty sure it was progress in those factories. If I don't want to control the states, might just pause it. But yeah, I'll take the factories as soon as I can. Try and muster tanks and stuff. This stuff I may add more ahead of. It's not particularly important. Depends how quickly I can take states, since I might be short on build slots in areas I actually control. That's why it's disturbing me. Not fun access Steam, and it plays way too often, if you ask me. Yeah, I'm still stockpiling oil. That'll start Franken factories. Franken factories, like Frankenstein. All right. There's no reason to care if I let's see. Need 4 or you could just, there's probably a button to specify exactly how many of each type you want. I forgot where it was. Alright, anyhow. Clear weather, and they start their training. They gain 7 experience a day, 7%. I don't know if they'll definitely at least reach trained. I'm not sure regular takes twice. I think they'll reach full train just before the Civil War. I'm going to be extending this via focuses a little bit. Main reason for that being I actually want time for communism support to take a little. Yeah. Yeah, the other thing with not doing Holstein is then I can release a Schleswig-Holstein puppet. I know. It's lame. And I'll probably also do Vesser Ems and Hesche and Baden. Yes, I'm completely just giving up most of my territory, but I will reintegrate it This is a way to get lots of build slots and get around the fact I'm going to be expanding very slowly for quite a while. And don't need that much industry for tipping civil wars. I'm going to be very short on political power, though, with all to spend on decisions, so there's that. Everyone's supplied here. Did want it. Darn it. Okay. These are the guys that aren't. 67%. This is move things around. Not that matters that much. Okay. I got another trait point. High test peroxide for the subs. We're starting better capital ships. I can start teching. Probably not gonna send the capital ships right away. Yeah, high test peroxide for the subs. I'm gonna probably next major designs is probably going to be starting to produce subs. I have less reason to wait for snorkels, especially since they nerf snorkel visibility. And the Admiral trait reduces visibility. Annoying as heck. It was a long time coming, to be fair. Subs didn't have enough visibility relative to their speed, presumably. You know, they spent a lot of time on the surface, because back at this point, subs relied on like diesel engines, which required air to run. Is there some reason I hadn't done subs holes? Yeah, I think it was just so I could get that trait in. Subs are also quick to produce. I don't care that much if the other side of the Civil War somehow starts producing some. Ice composite. Interesting. One of these things. Anyhow, yeah, I'll start on the subholes. Stelblom and Vosh. Using them for almost everything. Everything I can, anyhow, because I'm just going to be churning out tons of subs. Eventually build more dockyards for that. Eventually I'm going to have to face the British, and historically, like, the Germans didn't have nearly enough subs to really properly, sufficiently disrupt supply lines. So I'm hoping to do better than that. Once I'm done with the purges, which on the Kriegsmarine, which should be done in January, so only a couple months, I will also start with some. Actually, after the advanced ship torpedo launchers, I'll probably start on a cruiser design as well. I want to do some fresh designs. No, maybe I wait until I have a couple more trait points. But yeah, I will probably redesign another more modern cruiser. Quite likely a light cruiser. As much fun as redoing the Königsberg 2 was. Oh, you know, this is actually really quite good in many ways. Doesn't need more anti-air if it's a light cruiser. It doesn't target as much as heavies by far. Wow. It could use more bigger guns. They are a screen ship. They don't get screen bonuses. Yeah, I might just redesign a new heavy cruiser. It's got upgraded torpedoes, dual purpose secondaries, and I don't think I'm not yet taking what's needed for improved anti-air. Why did I not do this yet? Has something to do with being close to a trade point? I don't think so. It's probably not wanting the other side to benefit if this war gets bogged down, but also having other priorities like my Navy. Yeah, I don't need dedicated. Probably just do a heavy cruiser 3, which will have even more torpedo armaments. Place this with a dual purpose, a level 3 dual purpose gun, which I think has the same anti-air attack. It's just a little more expensive and heavier. Slows the ship more, and secondaries. So it'll have more anti-air capabilities, which is good because capital ships are what get targeted like almost always by naval bombers. Okay. Yeah, so long last, the Navy is getting some of what they asked for in terms of more investment. Too late to stop the Kriegsmarine revolt, but oh well. The units that remain loyal up here are going to be in tough straits with supply, but I'm nonetheless going to try and push into whole steam with them if I can. It's going to be difficult, and I have to watch it closely. But if I can, especially once I've pushed up into Westfalen and Weser Ems, maybe I've taken some, at least air support. This is a different air zone. But maybe once I get this airbase, I'll be able to provide some air support to them. Since there's nothing in Schleswig, they might just have to stay on the defensive, but I'd like to attack if I can. I don't want this war to drag on like the last one. This will be probably succeeded by magnetic mines, maybe? Or landing craft. Yeah, they had, Hungary had a war goal on Czechoslovakia for a while. I knew eventually they would declare war, even though it's suicidal for them. And this puts them at war with France yet again. And they have probably a handful of divisions they'll lose. Maybe they'll even lose more territory, though. Hopefully not, because to have a civil war to flip them, they need at least 2 states. But this eats up their war goal, which will mean peace in the Balkans after they're defeated for a while. They already lost all this territory, which Yugoslavia and Hungary will eventually get collaboration governments on them if it goes on long enough. Eventually, probably not anytime remotely soon. Let's see, because my next focus is in 40 days. Got about 9 more until I need to start the proletarian uprising in Mossland. which will lose me some civ and slow down my construction of new stuff. The Soviets are buying more artillery from me, putting a ton of that up for sale. I mean, I don't care. I need to keep my industrial snowball going. And they will need the equipment for, if nothing else, invading Afghanistan, Iran, Turkey, Romania, Poland. Hopefully I'm in a faction with them and they won't do my puppets, or maybe I can get a non-aggression pact once I flip ideology. Like, it's not possible now. Well, actually, I already have one, but they'll cancel it probably eventually. It's supposed to protect them from declaring their puppets. No, it often isn't. Oh, Mexico's in a civil war. How is? But didn't he already revolt? He'll lose anyways. I'm not sure why he's revolting, but he'll lose. It's just a small distraction for the Great Britain's faction, and that's a good thing because they are beating the snot out of a Canadian popular state and busily flipping South Africa and eventually to Australia and New Zealand. And then they'll come for Japan, which actually, I checked, has more dockyards than them, but has a much smaller fleet. And, you know, numbers help you lose fewer ships in battles, so they will eventually be able to invade Japan, the British. The forces of church and revolution have once again come into conflict in Mexico, with the Catholic parties and social movements gaining in strength. Secularist forces are launching an armed rebellion to take back control of the government. But these aren't communists launching a civil war. The communists are supposed to launch one when it's against the Catholic state. The Red Brigades are reforming after a decade of inactivity, while defectors in the federal military are rallying in states still controlled by anti-church governors. The Cristiada ended with a settlement negotiated between senior revolutionary and church officials thanks to intermediation by the American government, but it looks likely that this violence will end only with the complete destruction of one of the belligerents. The Mexican situation seems too complex for an outsider to understand, it says here. Second Mexican Revolution. They're supposed to be communist when they supposed to be between communist and maybe that's only if they're non-aligned. If they're democratic, it may just be a non-aligned. All right. Doesn't matter. They will lose. Communists would have been nice because they could have joined a faction, maybe become a government exile, host in Japan, but this, not much I can do with this unless I could create a faction with them. No, I can't do that. Negotiate license. This is about all. And they just got the generic trade. Maybe they'll add some more build slots. That would not be a great thing. Even if they win here on the mainland, the British will come to the rescue. So the Mexican Republic is pretty much guaranteed to win that. assuming they join the war anyways. The British, that is. It's going apace here. Alright. Probably messing stuff up with the industry build queue slightly late. But, you know, you guys don't want to see me stare at that. You want to see the Civil War break out, I'm sure. So, some reorganizing the army, then I'll add commissars. I don't know how that slips by when I'm still non-aligned. Like, communist commissars being attached to divisions seems like that's something that would set off red flags. Unless this guy is asleep on the job entirely. That really should be restricted to your communists. But maybe they're like couched as something else. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's kind of weird. Let's see. So Nuremberg isn't finishing industrializing, so it's definitely going to be the Moslem that'll, Moslem or whoever, that I do a proletarian uprising like any day now. It doesn't tick over till partway through a day, so I'm not sure though if the proletarian uprising also might not tick at the beginning of the day, so I might. That's 15. Just to be safe, I might want to do it now. Yeah. 3.8% to communism. I mean, if I'd wanted, I could have avoided the Civil War. It would have cost me political power and base stability, because if I had to do uprisings in more states, it would have helped in some ways. But everyone can need the political power for actions and puppets, and this will let me release more regions. I can release another Bavarian puppet here in Oberbayern. Make sure to get resource rights so I get all this aluminum, not just half. Puppet in Baden. Hesha. Vesarams. I could do here, but I don't want to split the country in two, basically. There's more build slots there, so it's ultimately worse. And Holstein. Yeah, the less I have to manage directly, the happier I am, honestly. Critical test successful. Experience progress. I almost would have rather he failed. So there's more time for more iterations, but whatever. I might actually finish this before the... Oh no. This is approximately how long I've got. Yeah? No? He might... Actually, the odds are he'll finish it. Depending on what the next iteration is, we'll decide. Would have been best if he didn't quite finish it, but... Got this going on. It's beneficial to wait, so I had the factors longer, and also certain communist support becomes harder to build the more of it you have already. So, oh yeah, Hungary has lost control of the rubber already, which probably means they've lost control of their capital. Yep, their war is going to end in like a day. I'll just buy French rubber for that like 1 day. So I'm about to get a message that this war is over. I believe. Budapest is 20 victory points. Oh? How did it not end? Oh, there's 79% to capitulation. However, I guess the Czech generals gain experience. They didn't flip via the 1940 or 40 elections, because even though they more communist support anything else, it wasn't over half. So I'm actually going to have to do a civil war to flip them. But that means they can become a Volkscommissariat. That's good. This will get me retire 2 generals I've avoided using because I knew I was going to retire them. Prevent them from joining that side, and give me 3 generals of field marshal. I can only assume will remain loyal in the Civil War. Kind of stink if not. If not, then maybe I should have waited to take this till after, but I presumed that these ones are generals who remain loyal to the government. Alright, and commissars, which give me command power and communism support. Will this command power be useful for quickly hiring generals after the war breaks out if I don't have enough? That's one of the most annoying songs. It's so repetitive. Kill, March, Lenski, and Moore. Okay. Let's see if I can find the guys I just got. They're probably higher skill than the 1. This guy is politically connected and only 2 skill. Yeesh. And given I'm going to go meticulous preparation, his traits aren't even, skills aren't even, points aren't even a good distribution. So he's useless. Lenski is also politically connected. He is a cavalry leader. I'll give him that, which means I could give him combined arms expert. Then whatever. Do cavalry expert instead. He's an armor officer, so I'll eventually gain panzer leader as well. Let's see. What was the other 2? Kale, Lenski, March, and Moore. Moore is the field marshal. They must all be politically connected. He's a reckless infantry officer. And these guys are all terrible. This guy's a level 1. I mean, they are literally all terrible. I wouldn't use any one of them unless I had no other options, except maybe Lenski, because he's a cav officer. Probably remain loyal if nothing else, though. I don't particularly like these focuses. They make your army a little bit weaker. This gives division recovery, which is not terrible, but it's necessary for the focus blow, which gives you recruitable population factor. That's the key thing. So a larger army, not quite as good, but larger. Does also make conscription cheaper. Alright, now Hungary is capitulated. Yeah, and no changes of territory or anything. Maybe they got stuck with, nope, not even resource rights. Maybe war reparations, though they rarely applies those. You would think it would be like, okay, you've attacked me how many times now? Time for some more reparations, but nope. Computers be computers, I guess. Instead mines that might come back to bite me. Cost around 70 days. Yeah, let's do this improved heavy battery. It's always 74. Except could do support stuff. No. Or might do the atomic research focus since I can grab that once I just get these improved heavy batteries. Just to put a little more funding into Blamavash. Be a long time that pays for itself, but I think the Civil War will, fire forces done, so then I can go right into techs that I really want. I don't care if this tech goes to the other side in the Civil War. It's telling me 24 days, but when this completes day 4, I'll add 15 days. Give me just enough time to finish political commissars. I can run these decisions in parallel, so I can do Wittenberg as soon as I'm ready, which is looking, yeah, I'm gonna need to focus more on Mel. If I do it before there's this many factories, it will give me less communism support, but also cost me less stability for what it's worth. What's worth, I realized an army while it slowed my planning. I had to run quick improvisations. My overall playing speed is still really good. I still it's slowed enough that I wasn't receiving a buff anymore. Just slowed enough that it's a smaller buff. Oh, I can buy rubber from Hungary instead of Siam right now. I'll do that. Since they're going to fall under my sphere of influence. As well France, hopefully, eventually. And Italy declared on Yugoslavia, which means they're also at war with Bulgaria. Looks like Peter II took office already. So they probably didn't quite make the tripartite pact, which I think would have prevented war with Italy. Or at least allowed them to get surrender Italian claims. Yeah. They ended their regency, so the Italians will be marching to Yugoslavia and Bulgaria. Unfortunately, that will kind of, freeze their progress. Italy, though France was guaranteeing, so now Italy's at war with France, Romania, Yugoslavia, and Bulgaria. Oh yeah, they're outnumbered. Italy's going to lose this one. Quite badly, actually, I suspect. That will mean I can't take the Liberate Italy focus, though there is a bypass. They don't exist, or they're subject. Honestly, don't need to go to war with them if it can be bypassed. Avoid angering the United States, because FDR, which is the U.S. is already sending anti-communist brigades around the world. Anti-communist brigades, the American government is trained blind-eyed to well-armed, well-equipped, and well-trained volunteers heading overseas to aid in the global struggle against communism. This is a variant of, I think they have a decision to fight against fascism, but it's actually based on whatever Japan's ideology is. Since they went communist, it's anti-communist instead of anti-fascist brigades. But yeah, they already sent, checked, I think, yeah, it still shows volunteers to China and non-aligned Canada. So they actually are consistently attacking or trying to flip countries away from communism. Tip wars, I should say, against communist countries. But yeah, Italy will hopefully lose. Kind of a lot depends on the strength of the French army here. It's a lot of communist support in Turkey. Oh, Bulgaria took a decision to push communism there. Can't flip them, but it can lead to them being ripe for a civil war. Benefits me, so cool. But yeah, they also did it to Greece, which might actually push them towards their communist. They didn't even decide to bring them to exiled Republicans yet, since they still have George II. Do not know how this war will go. I probably want to send volunteers as soon as my civil war is over. If it looks like I can swing it, if Italy is not already completely dominated its opponents. I can't send volunteers right now, or I would. I'm not allowed to send them. It's not aligned like this. Yeah, a thing I criticized Bulgaria when it goes Balkan Federation is still identified as Stalinist. It shouldn't. Follow the Stalinist doctrine is the other path, and that should leave them Stalinist, but Balkan Federation of Socialist Republics should turn them generic Marxist, so that Bulgaria is likely to, for instance, ally with right opposition USSR. And, there's some effects of the sub-ideology and a few focuses. It's Stalinist is one of the ones that the most things interact with. So it really is annoying. Reported as bug on the forum, and then some hound dog, worm dog, somebody marked it as intended and moved it to suggestions without even leaving a comment. And whoever did that is just wrong. I don't care if it's a QA person. They may think just because historically this guy was a friend of Stalin, Georgy Dmitrov, or not really a friend but an ally, that he would no matter what. But if he specifically turns his back on Stalin when his policies are already sometimes strayed away from the Stalinist line historically, and he didn't have to rely on the Soviet Union to turn Bulgaria communist, which historically he did. He was the first leader of Bulgaria after World War II. Then there's no question he shouldn't be Stalinist in this alt history path here. This is just, honestly, I think it's somebody has a personal grudge against, wants to vilify the guy. Not fun of Bulgaria, political propaganda reasons, I don't know. There's no valid reason that it should be this way here. Doesn't make sense. But it'll probably never get changed because it might just be someone who doesn't want the devs to invest the effort in fixing it, or is a dev and doesn't want to fix it. But it's the wrong sub-ideology, and it means they won't get help likely from the Soviets, who got rid of Stalin. After they formed their faction, which they haven't done yet. Let's see. 18 days, 17 days. I'm going to get 15 more. Just get me to this. Commissars. So I'm about 20 days, 19 days in, so about 12 more days till I start the uprising in Württemberg. Okay. Won't be enough for more than one more factory, but France joined the Socialist Republic of Bulgaria in their war. Yep, Romania joined them in their war. And France almost immediately took 2 states from the Italians. That's good for the French. Maybe they'll actually defeat the Italians. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, Stalinism is defined partly by rallying around, a central leader and doing what he says, and the Balkan Federation path is specifically doing something Stalin said no to. That historically Bulgaria abandoned. They had this idea and abandoned because Stalin said no. If they had gone ahead defying Stalin, then they're not Stalinists anymore, almost by definition, because they're not abiding by the idea of uniting all communists behind a single strong leader. Also, the Balkan Federation has more of a tint of less policing of the population, less, repression. Both of those things would mean not Stalinist, as well as allying with the Yugoslavians in Yugoslavian communism, which was not Stalinist either. It was a different form of Marxism. In this alt history, Bulgaria should not be Stalinist, and thus they shouldn't get the -40 opinion penalty they get with the Soviets here when they take the focus international revolutionary Marxism. which gives them an opinion penalty with Bulgaria, Spain, Sinkian, and Tanatuva, because those are considered Stalinists. The other three, I'm fine with. It makes sense. Bulgaria, no. Romania canceled the non-aggression pact. Why? Weird. I didn't have anything to do with what just went on, I guess. Oh, whatever. Just keep doing what I'm doing. Probably, yep, they joined the Balkan Federation. Romania did now. Huh? France did. I guess that was actually them joining the faction. Of course, France will probably leave the faction. We'll see. Maybe. After the war's over. Okay, last factory. Yeah, that's definitely not going to be done in time. But whatever. This one's not going to complete another line of factories either. Another factory either. Oh. Huh? January 14th? Maybe they will. January 11th. It's actually not that many days. Alright. Holstein's even close to fishing. Yeah, very soon should actually start on this fort in Musland. In Buddenberg. I chose to do this one partly because it'll make the Westfall a little stronger. Although I won't actually take that decision until after I've reintegrated Baden, so it's not for a very long time. But it's also likely a place where a defensive line might erupt if I can't overwhelm Hessian immediately. I have to defend this from men across the river here. I'll try and hold mines, but I may not be able to hold Moslin. I may not be able to grab Frankfurt immediately. Eventually, hopefully. Alright, so turn up the speed here. It's getting close. Civil War should fire before the end of this video. I'll probably pause it because there's going to be a zillion micro things to do with a brand new Civil War. What does Romania buy for me? Oh, trains. It's about time someone bought them. And a few extra. Rifles, artillery, and convoys, though, are the main things I've got excess of now. Convoys can eventually be turned into cruisers via decision, but it costs Navy XP. So I really want to sell us the older rifle and artillery pieces. Okay. $22 days plus 15, 37. Actually, I can wait a little longer. Wittenberg here. Get full use of their factories for a little longer. Oh, have like a zillion infantry training. I don't think I keep everything in the queue. But, this will enable, I'll get a larger percentage of of the army than I will of the recruitable population, so it's better to have men in training, where I'll get like over 40% of them, than in the manpower pool, where I only get around 30-something%. Also, divisions are closer to deploying means I can rush out some of these guys if an area is threatened once I know where the battle lines are. It's about 1941. So losing half a stability every week. Actually gaining because of anti-microtic rates, but that's not really sustainable to keep up forever. Don't have the political power for it, if nothing else. Alright. Yeah, 31 days, so it's time, yeah, to start the uprising in Wittenberg. Which will get me, it's currently saying, I don't know if this will update with the last factory, 1.8% communism support. Or 45, will be like 47, just barely 50. Now, I mean, I could have literally just by running one or two more of those avoid the Civil War entirely. Like I said, I don't want to. Ooh, Battlefield Innovations, 15 Army experience. And I believe, 34 days did not complete the project. I think it's 32 days to Civil War, so that's actually perfect. He will not finish before the Civil War, which means he'll lose some progress, and I might get one extra prototype, which trains him up quicker and has a chance of other benefits. I assume I haven't seen all the events, and I'd like to see as many as I can. Cool. Alright, there's nothing more to do actually, and just wait for the uprising and monitor my build queues here. Turn the speed up a little. Maybe add a few more divisions to, yeah. I've got 297,000 men in training. And France is not fulfilling the rubber importation. occupation. Guess it's just Hungary I'll buy from. Because to do worker rallies for everyone to avoid the Civil War, I don't. What was it? There was something. Oh yeah, more divisions. As soon as it gets enough equipment on these guys. The idea is to pull lots of people out of the manpower. No longer get the effects of purges in the Kriegsmarine. I could do like doctrines now. I don't need to hand the other side or improve ship designs yet. Okay, that's enough equipment with that. 48 divisions. Cool. They're in 16,000 men in training. And probably getting close to the limit for how many. Yeah, it's based on how large your field army is. I may cancel some of these once the Civil War breaks out. Maybe if, I don't know, maybe not. There are those within the ranks that can yet be swayed to our cause, around the folly that they have been forced to adhere to. We must appoint officers whose responsibility is to educate the common soldier of the benefits of communism and organize them to ensure loyalty. Yep, I mean, commissars are not, their job isn't to like shoot people or whatever propaganda. Their job is political education. Whether they belong in the military or not, you could argue, but they're definitely, their assigned duty is political education of the soldiers, teaching them about Marxism, which is not exactly a transparent ideology. It does take some study to learn. If people understand what they're fighting for, they're not as likely to be loyal to it. It makes some amount of sense when your ideology is complicated and not just telling everyone that you stand for freedom, like capitalist countries like the United States do. That's fairly easy for people to understand whether it's true or not, again. And you have to teach them about ideas like exploitation of labor, which refers not to exploitation in the way the word's usually used, but to the extraction of value above and beyond what's necessary to pay for the costs of production. So, you know, after you pay for the facilities, the raw materials, the part that's profit, basically, taking some of that and is given as wages to workers, but not all, and the rest becomes profit. I should say that's what it is. And the idea that, you know, I mean, that's how capitalism basically operates, is investors put in money and then they grab some of that surplus value back just for having contributed money, you know, capital. Basically, I put money in, I get money out just because I had money. It makes the rich richer and everyone else falls behind. It's the fundamental problem with capitalism. This one issue alone leads to enormous cascading problems, and that's what Marxists try to solve. Whether they succeed or not, that's their fundamental goal. All right, well, I can do workers' rights, and that won't finish till after the Civil War, which I believe will mean it'll swap over to communism support. Or I could do this. Resource gain efficiency, some resources I'll probably be short of, and military factory. Do and invest in the steelworks and then workers' rights. Because I'm not entirely sure workers' rights can be communism support. If it started when I was still not aligned, probably should, but it might not. I want to risk pushing not aligned and destabilizing my already not terribly stable regime during the war. I don't need to push generic authoritarianism. Military reign, and that's the name of the non-aligned party. So it's literally supporters of the military dictatorship. And regimes like that wouldn't realistically push for workers' rights unless they felt forced to, such as by rising communism support. Okay, just finished field hospitals and got a trait on my automotive manufacturer from it. So I could do tires or boot engines. Yeah, I was going to do tires. As nice as all-wheel drive is, probably enough breakthrough when motorized when they're fully equipped, and then eventually switch to mechanized. It's reliability and production cost. Continental tires. And then improved engines eventually. Reliability, of course, means more recovery of damaged equipment after battles. If I combine that with stuff like a maintenance company, make my industry a lot further in terms of loss of stuff to combat attrition. Oh, here we go. Commercial nuclear reactor project. Commercial one? Weird. But, yeah, this construction won't particularly help the other side. I don't anticipate things going for long enough for that to really matter. Anything they build, I'll be able to grab, hopefully. So I'm going to do construction for. Yeah, it's not like, oh no, fuel refining takes twice as long. Base time or whatever, not twice, but 50% longer. Yeah, I'll do fuel refining 4. Though it will help the other side a little. I need it. Actually, could have held off 30 days, couldn't I, on that? Oh well. Darn. The only real effect to that is they'll might spend fewer factories buying oil, which means they might build more stuff. So, and then whatever they build, I inherit. So it doesn't really actually help the other side. And that meant this war will go. I'll definitely want it. Speaking of oil, I should just stop buying any so there's less in the reserves that could be controlled. We'll send the Brummer for repairs. Here, I can wait Hinterpommern. Or, yeah, rest of my navy that's they should actually go to I won't have any ports when the Civil War starts. So it really doesn't matter where they go. Some are in Königsberg. Some are in Hinterpommern. Bring back up the sea because I keep the Navy XP. I do have docking rights with a couple neutral countries. So that's where I want my ships to. Not many. Soviet Union, Italy, Romania. Those are Manchurian stuff. Yeah, I'll probably send my fleet to Leningrad when the Civil War breaks out. Of course, they'll trap them in the Baltic, but I'm sure the Soviets will be willing to let them dock there. They have to go through Arctic water. Who else? That's in the Manchuria. Holiday. Let's have to count on the Soviets. Keep doing that, but what's am I gonna do? It cuts into the Mediterranean. Now I think of it. Can't actually reach Romania because the Bosphorus is militarized. Yeah. Yeah, I'll send them all to Campania. To Naples. It might put a little pressure on the town supply network, even. Or take some of their repair yards from their own ships. I do not want them to win their war. They're gaining ground on Yugoslavia, but losing against France, thankfully. So my fleet's off to the Mediterranean before it turns icy in the Baltic. It is January. Before I lose control of the Kiel Canal and such, too. Verintiga Steelworks. Stahlwerke is one of our biggest and most important steel producers. Investing resources in the company will surely yield increased productivity and transform the German steel industry. Some work on right now. The steel works will help produce military equipment in the Civil War for me. Looks like, yeah, just transport plane and train, so what's left there. Yeah. In case the effects do increase as new factories are completed. It's now up to 2% communism there, which would give me a tiny majority. Of course, with rounding, even if I wanted to take people's victory, I couldn't. You have to be at 51%. The Civil War breaks down a whole point. An air theorist use all this air experience I've been storing up, and I can look at appointing another member of my high command eventually too. Infantry expert Shermer, most likely. Since they're still the backbone of my army, despite all the motorized forces I've got. Got 34 motorized divisions and some number of tank divisions. 20 tank divisions, so 54 non-infantry. Currently, that's I've got like 80 something infantry or 70 something. It's a lot of infantry still. These guys are already nearly fully equipped, so they try and get them better equipment. And trying to see, where does it say speed? Oh yeah, they almost got full speed because they have enough trucks. The ones that aren't really under-equipped, they're actually slow as heck because of lack of trucks. So prioritizing getting divisions are already well equipped. Last few trucks and better rifles. This armor division, similarly. There we go. fascism. I already eliminated all fascist support. So I definitely didn't need that spirit. It was just corner my interface. What happened to Iron Front when the Civil War breaks out? Nope. A rifle manufacturer got a trait point. Already got medium machine gun production. And heavy anti-armor. Yep. Vehicle mount capabilities. A large amount of breakthrough. Could give Moiser mechanical genius now and make for more reliable rifles. Probably wait till I have assault rifles for that. I'll try to grab the stuff for experienced manufacturer and improve small arms bullet designs before I take rifle 3. Yeah. Well, I may be done with my land doctrine tree once the Civil War breaks out. I do have the Mountaineer tree to soak up a lot of Army XP. That's a very good Special Forces tree. I like it. Then I didn't want to invest in Special Forces if I had another Civil War coming, but I'd be able to start, or better division templates or any of that, but once the Civil War hits, I'll be able to start doing stuff like that. And I want to get my Army Doctrine as soon as possible because I can't store much more air experience. I wanted to finish that tree, then get rid of the Theorist once he's useless. I mean, heck, I'll be able to grab... It'll be 75... I'll be able to grab 5 air doctrines. In fact, I do have a discount that maybe it'll be 6 or 7. Which got me really deep into the tree right away. Probably take formation flying because I already have a ton of aces. 4, 5. I should be able to get ground support integration or battlefield support. Maybe both. Which are both really great. That's a key for the bonuses to actually affect ground combat. It's actually 25 days till the revolution because I gain 15 more. So it'll happen in the spring, which is good. Winter combat is slower. You get more attrition. My fleet's arrived in the Tyrrhenian Sea. All but that one sub. Oh. Who stopped selling me rubber? Hungary. Bloody Hungarians. direct from the British. India and Siam. I mean, I've been buying enough before anyways. I don't want to hurry that. Complete this last factor in Westfalen. Be working on Rhineland, Württemberg, and Frank in all areas I control so I don't lose any progress. Cool. Also deck conversions before the Civil War. Pretty sure there'll be some more Navy 1941 tax I can grab. Let's see. Now, also other things. February 1st. That February 10th. It's 18 days to. Yep, that'll still be done before. Probably mess around with buying a little oil. Just to avoid wasting factories. Help the Soviets out, or maybe the Romanians actually, because they're in this war. They have oil to sell. Soviets want more artillery. Free to buy it. Because of their earlier civil war, they actually were able to reorganize their military partially, and when desperate measures expires, build out their whole army organization done before any major wars or future major wars. That's good for them. Someone's low on let me guess. Yep, there's a blizzard. That's gonna make these divisions dangerous and low in supply. We're gonna head to Flensburg. Well, actually, maybe they won't. The snow here helps them winter acclimatize quicker. Probably I'll instantly disappear when I reload the save, which I've gone long enough. I'm gonna probably want to just exit this after this video, and get this uploading. Okay, there's no more delays, so it's 13 days till the German Civil War. Which is good because I've already down to 73% base stability, and probably 72.5 or 72 before triggers. More issues with the rubber supply, huh? It's getting competitive. Buy rubber. Oh, I completed the super heavy howitzer. Oh well. When the deck conversions did unlock a trait. Research bonus for stuff for actual. Yeah, if I start building up my carrier line, there's definitely going to be some research that goes into it. No, there won't be hardly anything left to research by the time I might even consider carriers. AR, but only on screen ships, which have very little slight better hit chance or speed. Or light attack for destroyers, that's actually pretty good. Excuse me. Yeah. If I start giving him anything to make them better, it'd probably be destroyer production lines. If I use them to design anything, rather. Will I, though? Can assemble and manufacture. Yeah, I'll do secondary fire control. If I build carriers, they'll need anti-air so they don't get destroyed by enemy bombers. Alright. Oh, advanced radio is useful, but of course I can't do an MIO on it, so I'll just save up for the next 13 days and run advanced radio as soon as it's a high priority tech. So where this the industry stuff. Heck with it. Construction. I don't want the other side grabbing advanced radio. And improved heavy batteries will finish, I guess. So 3 days. We'll see. There's almost no waste because of changes in the amount of, I guess, resources I'm exporting. Yeah. People are buying my steel and stuff. This song is called Mother Russia. Alright. I guess I'll buy little Romanian oil. Might tip the balance of this war if it's close. The Romanians get a military factory online a little sooner. Alright. And someone else decided to whatever. Buy a little more oil from the Soviets. Starting production of these forts, they should get done just after the Civil War starts, or just before. Not a day sooner than I needed them for sure. Communist China has capitulated. That's not good. It's not good at all. Mexico has joined the faction. Then no. I'm doing okay for oil. Yep. The forts in Stuttgart won't finish till after the war starts, and the Moslin just around the time it starts. 2 days after, okay. Cool. Got a few more divisions in training, actually. So I have a little more manpower. Those ones will almost certainly be canceled. I'll lose my whole manpower pool when there we go. Every last man is being in training. 387,000. Because communism support is actually just over half. Wait, what? Japan surrendered? British somehow naval invade them? I wasn't paying attention to what. That's bad. That's real bad. The British decided to annex Tokyo, which I guess will eventually get them a collaboration government. And China annexed most of the rest. What little was left of Japan. They must control like an island somewhere. I'm not even sure where they still exist. What little of Japan was left. Oh, the Kuril Islands. The majority of the country was annexed. Just outright annexed by the British and Chinese. That's not great. Makes the British even more powerful and the Chinese have decent. Oh, they don't get many dockyards yet. Meanwhile, Imperial Kwantan territories are still at war with open the consular accent. China and the Guanxi clique. Eventually lose. China is going to be a kind of a monster with all this territory. At least it's all non-aligned, for whatever tiny bit of comfort that is. Communist China doesn't exist anymore. Where does Shenzi? Oh no, they still around. All the warlords except Yunnan exist somewhere. Oh, and Sinkiang was also no longer exists. A defeat for socialism, unfortunately. The British Navy must have just steamed the heck over there and aggressively attacked. It's the best I can figure. Right. That'll be a challenge someday. Anyhow, 3 days till the revolution. Completion of improved heavy batteries. It's probably some kind of support company I could. Oh, field hospital too. Alright. The other side into that. Tech. Just waiting for the Civil War. You guys will get to see that, and that'll be the end of this video, which has gone to almost 2 hours, much longer than I would have preferred. But I really did not want it to just be a video that cut short right before the Civil War broke out. Looks like today's the day, or tomorrow. I'll save. Who knows what weirdness might happen with the Civil War. And I really don't want to risk actually the non-aligned side joining a faction with someone, which could happen if world tension grows enough. So I'll create a faction. Let's call it the German Commonwealth, which is a nod Dawn of the German Commonwealth. It's nod to actually a previous run, my very first Hearthstone 4 run, where I played Iron Man, Kaiserreich path, and created a faction which I called the German Commonwealth, which had 1 million puppets all over the world. Not out of my own territory, but still. And the Civil War should be starting within seconds. It's, I don't know. Start assembling production. The industry tax that mean it provides less immediate benefit. Aside. Communist Civil War in the German military junta. After some time, marked by intensive dissent from the proletariat, the situation in the German military junta has turned hostile. August von Mackensen's forces have been overrun in multiple states following continuous uprisings. What will become of the revolt remains to be seen. The non-aligned supporters start Civil War. Okay, so I'm considered on the defense. Politics will change. KPD, Communist Party of Germany, becomes the ruling party. Publications will not be held. I wonder if the democratic institutions will restore those. The revolt or country. It's not clear if that's me or them. Political power. Stability and war support. Guess the war doesn't actually start until I hit the OK. Interesting. Since it gets me a factories back, there's no reason I delay this. Wait, mower, kale, that. Okay, so the guys that it gave me in that focus, they all joined the other side. Not well, but they were all garbage leaders. I guess the idea is you retired some of the more skilled leaders and gave garbage ones the other side. For the proletariat. And here's the war. Oh, I maintained control of Berlin. Yeah, and all the puppets